Well, welcome to our weekly look at power rankings here on ESPN.com. I'm Andy Katz along with Seth Greenberg. So we're going to take a look at a couple teams that are rising and a couple teams that are falling. Let's start with the Baylor Bears. On Sunday night, a home victory over Vanderbilt, a top 25 game. Came down to the last couple possessions. Why do you feel so good about Baylor right now on the rise?
Well, they've got an inside and outside combination. Rico Gathers is one of the best rebounders I've seen in a long time. He pursues every single shot like it's a pass off the backboard. He's almost impossible to keep off the glass. A great wedge rebounder, and when he rebounds it, he can shot fake and finish. And then Taurean Prince was absolutely terrific. His ability not only just to make shots, but how he made the shots. In transition, off the bounce, without the basketball. Prince, Gathers, really a good inside-out combination. And then their point guard play. Medford is taking care of the basketball. They're not turning it over. I like the zone. Baylor playing at a high level.
It really shows the depth of the Big 12 right now with Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa State, West Virginia, now Baylor. Definitely, you could make an argument, at least percentage-wise, the deepest conference in the country. They only have 10 teams. All right, let's look at North Carolina. They get Marcus Page back. They beat Maryland at home in the ACC Big Ten Challenge. And then they absolutely destroyed Davidson. What have you liked about this North Carolina team in the last week?
It's not easy destroying a Bobby McKillop coach team. I mean, you're talking about a basketball team that doesn't turn it over, that attacks you in transition, that has a toughness about him. So the way they handled Davidson was impressive. Marcus Page is North Carolina's best player. And what do best players do? They make everyone else better. And that's what he does, because your game plan starts with Marcus Page. Now the game gets easier for Justin Jackson. Because Page can make shots, it opens up the floor. More room for Meeks to play, more room for Bryce Johnson to play. So all of a sudden, by getting Marcus Page back on the floor, everyone else is better. And then I think the other thing that's been interesting to me is their defensive intensity has improved with Page on the floor. Page has done a good job pressuring the ball, but it seems like this is a basketball team that now has their leader back, and with their leader to say, you know what, we're starting our mission to compete and try to get back to the Final Four and win a national championship. And with Marcus Page, we can do that.
All right, teams on the decline. A little harsh here. Syracuse on your list. Their first game without Jim Boeheim, the start of his 9-game suspension.
Asked me to pick someone, Andy.
I know, but they lose at rival Georgetown, and it came down to the last couple of minutes. So why
at
Syracuse?
Home to Wisconsin.
Yes. Okay, so why is Syracuse on the decline?
It has nothing to do with Mike Hopkins. Mike Hopkins is going to do a terrific job. We know he's a basketball savant. We know the players are going to play hard for him. There's going to be a learning curve for him. Does he stand during the game? Does he sit? How is he going to utilize his
Wear his jacket,
coaches?
Take it off.
Wear the jacket, take it off. He's got a coach within his own personality. Has nothing to do with Mike Hopkins. Two things. You live by the three, you die by the three. All right. Right now, Syracuse doesn't have a legitimate inside scorer that they consistently go to. If they're going to shoot the ball well, they're going to be in basketball games. If they don't, they're going to struggle. They struggled in the first half because they couldn't make shots. The second thing is they must rebound the ball better on the defensive end and finish possessions. You can force a contested shot, but you've got to come back and rebound the ball. Their guards need to rebound the basketball better. Syracuse, still a very good basketball team, had a rough week.
All right, so Gonzaga leaves the battle for Atlantis 2-1. They beat UConn. They come home, and then they go on the road and beat Washington State, a rivalry game on the road in Pullman. But then they lose a 10-point lead at home to Arizona. Now, without Shema Karnowski, who had back spasms. But why suddenly do you have concern about the Zags, especially with a game coming up home against UCLA?
Well, the reality is Shema Karnowski or no Shema Karnowski, their front court was terrific. I mean, Domantas Sabonis was great. Kyle Wiltshire was phenomenal. I mean, there was a stretch in that first half. They played that little two-man game on the left side where Wiltshire either popped, knocked down the three, shot fake, put it on the floor, shot the step back, rolled into the post, shot the jump hook. I mean, they dominated the game with Sabonis and Wiltshire. The problem is their backcourt. The backcourt turned the ball over 16 times, didn't make good decisions, and didn't do a good job containing Gabe York and in the second half Alonzo Trier. So the front court's fine whether Karnowski plays or not. It's the backcourt needs to be consistent. You can always defend. You've got to be up to get. You're playing Gabe York. You've got to run him off the three-point line. You've got to know where he is. All right, the guy's a volume shooter. He can make shots. Can't let him beat you. Alonzo Trier, pretty good off the bounce. My concern is 16 turnovers. The perimeter game right now of Gonzaga has not been consistent. Can't lose a game in the Kennel. I mean, the Kennel's a special place. Great win for Sean Miller in Arizona, but a little bit of a disturbing win for Gonzaga. Now, they'll bounce back. They're an NCAA tournament team. They're probably a second weekend team, but their guard play's got to improve.
Yeah, they're going to have to, I wouldn't say have to win, but the game at home against UCLA becomes
UCLA's playing well.
Yeah, pretty critical for Gonzaga. All right, that's our look at some teams on the rise, some teams starting to go in the other direction, at least for a week or so. For Seth Greenberg, I'm Andy Katz. Keep it right here on ESPN.com.